ideas. So yesterday I filmed a video about a vegan Shamrock shake, but yesterday was Sunday. Yesterday I was hungover as fuck. So I'm just gonna let yesterday's Rachel take it away, and then I'm gonna come back here and we are gonna talk about bloating. So, boom. Loves Shamrock shakes. I can't be the only one that loves Shamrock shakes. They're so good.
It smells like toothpaste.
It kind of tastes like toothpaste, but like in a good way. No, you don't like it? I'll drink it. This literally tastes just like, okay, you can't say it doesn't taste just like a McDonald's Shamrock shake though. You just don't like Shamrock shake, so that's not my problem. I made it really small because it's just like a snack I'm gonna have lunch soon. Literally just vanilla ice cream, milk, like a regular vanilla shake, but then you put some mint extract in it and some green food coloring to give it that toothpaste look. You could put some booze in it. You could put some like Baileys or whiskey in it. It'll be a fun little St. Patrick's Day treat. If you like getting your dairy and your or your fake dairy and your booze on at the same time. You want some Shamrock shake? Ooh, what's that smell? No, he's not into it. And that's how you make the Shamrock shake, and honestly it was pretty good. Today I've been inspired to talk about bloating and recovery, mostly because sometimes to get ideas for videos I go through my old journals or whatever about recovery. When I was in recovery, sorry, I have to play with him like this or he's just gonna meow at me all morning. When I was in recovery, I had a Tumblr. Sometimes that Tumblr still exists. Sometimes I scroll through it for video ideas because I've been out of recovery, or I've been recovered for so long that sometimes I forget, you know, what it was like and some of the struggles and some of the things that if you're going through recovery, you might want to hear. So anyway, I was going through it and I found a whole post on the discomfort of bloating when you increase your intake. And I thought, well, that's something I can talk about because people get bloated all the time. I mean, I still get bloated, obviously. I think everybody does. I feel like everyone's seen those Instagram pictures where it's like your belly before you go to bed versus your belly when you wake up because the bloating has gone down. As you may or may not know, bloating in recovery is way more intense. Part of the reason is because through food restriction or binging and purging or whatever disordered eating you put your body through, the muscles in your digestive system and your intestines and your stomach have become deconditioned and they've shrunk. They've gotten smaller, and honestly, they've forgotten how to process normal to large amounts of food. So your system is just gonna work slower, you're gonna eliminate food slower, and all of this will make you really bloated. That on top of the fact that you are going to be eating a lot of food, and also there are enzymes in some of the foods that you will be eating that your body hasn't probably had in a really long time. For me, when I was recovering, that was dairy, and it was really difficult to digest dairy. I think the most important thing I can say to you right now is that the pain and the discomfort and the gas and the bloating, it will get better and it will go away. It just takes time for your body to readjust and relearn how to digest food properly. The worst thing you can do is respond to this bloating and this gas by restricting foods again or eliminating certain food groups from your diet in order to combat this. I know it's super painful, but the more you restrict, the longer your body will take to remember how to digest these foods. You just kind of have to work through the beginning stages of feeding your body properly. Because once you continue to do it enough, your body will remember and it will regulate food normally, and this really painful bloating will dissipate. A few tips I have, I mean, you can of course always take medication that may help with whatever you're going through, constipation, IBS, bloating. There's Miralax, there's fiber supplements, there's probiotics. Obviously you may feel very constipated, but I don't recommend taking a laxative because laxatives in general are not good for people with eating disorder prone behavior. But there are all of these awesome over-the-counter medications to help, you know, your body digesting properly. And if you feel like you're having a particular sensitivity to one food, you can always go out and get some Lactaid or some Beano and, you know, get it moving and get it digesting properly. There's no better medicine than eating regularly. Your body will eventually, it will have to catch up. On top of that, to keep things moving is to drink a lot of fluids, not necessarily just water, just like any fluids to keep things moving through your body. Obviously, drinking too much water isn't gonna help with the bloat, so you need to kind of just be drinking a regular amount of fluids, not an aggressive amount of water or anything. And as best you can, making sure that you're getting an adequate amount of fiber and fats. Fats and fiber help things move through your system a lot better. So if you are experiencing recovery related bloat, those are just a few tips to kind of help things get moving and get your digestive system back on track so that eventually you don't have this kind of pain that comes with digesting a large amount of food. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention is that what caused a lot of my bloating, even when I was sick, I would get a lot of bloating, and that's because I was the person that would chew packs and packs and packs of sugar-free gum. Not 1 pack, not 2 pack, but like up to 3 or 4 packs a day of sugar-free gum. That turned out to be really, really bad for me in a lot of ways. The most important and terrible way that it was bad for me was that the sorbitol like irritated my intestines and my bowels and caused them to spasm and inflate. And I had to go to the hospital a few times because of issues related to the obsessive chewing of sugar-free gum. So if you are chewing gum at all, stop. Completely stop chewing gum. It's not going to be helpful at all to your recovery. It's only going to be harmful, and it's only going to make your stomach situation a lot worse. If you are following all these tips and you're like, well, that's all great that it'll go away eventually if I keep eating, and it will, by the way, but you're like, I'm in the middle of this right now, what do I do? Well, of course, you know, I don't recommend exercising while you're in recovery. I think staying still is the best mode of just letting your body rest. But if it's so painful, you don't know what you're going to do, I think some very, very slow, light stretching and some yoga would really help your situation out. So just Google like gas relieving yoga postures and just hold those for like a few minutes at a time while you're watching TV. That might help you, and I think that's totally cool and fine. And of course, my main tip is just to, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but you just gotta live through it, and more importantly, you can sleep through it. Like, I would backload a lot of my food to the afternoon and the evening when I was recovering because I would get the majority of my calories in, and then I would just sleep. Other things I would do is I would, and this is so important, I would eat calorie dense food so that my stomach wouldn't just be full of this voluminous low calorie food. I wouldn't shove it full of salads or voluminous vegetables that take up a lot of room in your stomach but don't add a lot of calories. When you're trying to get in a lot of calories because you're recovering from an eating disorder, the best mode to do this is by eating calorie dense foods. And for some calorie dense foods ideas, check out my video. I'll link it up here, why 3,500 calories. But yeah, so those are my tips on bloating and recovery, and I know it can be kind of uncomfortable, but it's part of recovery. But anyway, yeah, so those are all my tips and my advice and my experience with bloating. I hope this helps. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please hit subscribe. My name is Rachel, this is Ladle by Ladle, and on here I talk about eating disorder recovery, veganism, intuitive eating, body positivity, and self-love, and I'd love to have you with me. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? You know what, I do burp a lot. I think maybe that helps. Bye guys.